Alright, guys, welcome back. As I was about to explain, and I was explaining, now let's go to. Alright, we was here yesterday. We just imagine, like, from, like, this only by, like, yo, I don't know how long it took though, but then we are here today. So I was actually explaining how we actually caught this cell. So I think the video is there. You can even go and take a look at it. So, but then I might even have a start, right? Let's just start over how that cell came out. Let's just start over. Alright, guys, so as we are here taking a look on like 2 hour, so going to take a look at the 2 hour time frame. What do we see on the 2 hour time frame? On the 2 hour time frame, um we didn't see market like going towards the upside to our order block and doing what, like going and taking out this liquidity, going up towards where we have liquidity. And remember, we had an order block over here. So now we're saying, how do we know that now it's time for us to sell and stuff like that? So we was like, okay, at this area we need to look at areas where we can actually have a beautiful sell. How can we sell this area? How can we sell this supply zone, right? So okay. Okay, if you can take a look at what happens over here, we are expecting at least some like pin bar or engulfing type of candlestick along to actually, like, I was expecting that the market could at least sweep some previous highs over here, sweep some previous candlesticks, but the market just gave us some sort of tweezers. This is tweezers to show that, okay, we are reversing. Okay, so now on 1 hour and 2 hour, we don't actually see how we could have sold the market, right? We don't see how we could have went in and sell the market. So let's go back on 30 minutes. We also don't see how we could have went in and sell, or yeah, sell over here. But on 30 minutes now, let me show you something. So as you can see, on 30 minutes we have like a high and a low, and then a breakout structure that forms a new high, right? So what does this say? So what does this mean? This means that right over here we do have the order block, which is this one. So this is the whole order block that we have. We was looking at the market to actually respect this order block, and another order block that we have is also this small supply. We know that we are on the reversal area right over here within this 4 hour order block, which maybe we can change it to become purple, I don't know, but let's change it. So this is the high time frame order block. So, and this is a small time frame order block. So as you can see, market was doing what? As you can see, market broke structure towards the upside, and what we was looking at is that, like, we would look at the market like doing what, like buying at this area, at least before we can see that this order block is actually gonna hold to the downside. What do we need to see? Right, I got it on Jalo. If you can take a look, we have the order block. We still have the order block that says we are still in the uptrend. So meaning that the internal movement is still in the uptrend but the external or 4 hour, it's ready for us to give us sales. But then we wanted to confirm, to see confirmations saying that like this order block actually it's not gonna hold, it's actually gonna be a weak order block. So we needed signs like that. So what did we need? We needed something like, as you can see, this is an order block. So we needed to see market coming back in here. After market coming in back in here, we needed to see maybe a failure of this high. A failure of this high says like we tapped, what is the failure of this high gonna say to us? The failure of this high is gonna say now we have a previous high sweep. If we have a previous high sweep, and then we also tapped into our order block, this will mean that the order block will be fake, then we're going towards the downside. But then if that is not happening, then we're also expecting something like this, where the market can go up and then tap in here, then gives us that candlestick, like gives us a pin bar candlestick like this, like gives us a pin bar candlestick. After tapping in here, we already know that also this order block will be like taken out. And another way of taking a look of, another way to say, okay, how will this actually sell, it was like, maybe we was actually also waiting for something like this, maybe come into here, instead of breaking this, sweeps this, and as it sweeps this, therefore we can go, and we know already that okay, we're gonna obviously target the low, and this order block is fake because it didn't break structure, it actually swept the structure, so we're going against the order block. But none of that did happen in actually here. So what happened over here is just market went against it. So I think on lower time frame, like maybe 5 minutes and 15 minutes, maybe on 15 minutes, that's where we could have seen like the rejections above, the pin bars showing us that the buyers are rejected but sellers are strong and sellers are coming in. Or on 5 minutes, we that's why maybe we could have seen like a downtrend, sort of like movement, whereby we keep on breaking structures towards the downside. Ras, please. Please. Che. Buka, Tamuruba. So unfortunately, what do we see? We see that okay, here the market actually changes the character. Market changes character towards the downside. And another place to take a look at like was also here. So unfortunately, also market does what, break structure towards the downside. So market now breaks structure towards the downside. So what are we looking at? So right now we say okay, that's fine, we failed to take this sell, right? We failed to take this sell. So what's going on? So if you can take a look at the future, what happened within this buy? The market was buying, but the market was uh, like buying in a, what can I say, the market was correcting towards the upside. It was not impulsive towards the upside, so it was correcting towards the upside. So, and also another thing that we see is that the previous days as Asian low is not taken out, which is here, it's not taken out, and the previous day is Asian low is not yet taken out, which is this one. So there's a lot of liquidity within this, like within this movement, this whole movement, there is like a lot of liquidity. All right, so, and then we also see that the market changes like this, the market does what, the market changes like structure, changes characters, breaking structures. Like an example, we have this low that made that high, and then then we had a break of structure. If I can take this aside, this is already clear that we have what, we have the order block somewhere there that will help us take the market towards the downside, to wait for the market to come back into the order block so we can continue forming the zigzag structure going to the downside. So like the proper way to see an order block, the first order block that I spoke about was actually the one on 30 minutes, which was this one. If you can check, this is the first order block that we have. But it's not proper. I don't think this order block will hold. So we need to actually go to higher time frames and start looking for order blocks from higher time frames and stuff like that. So coming back right over here, we get to see that, oh, now we see a proper order block on 2 hour. How is that proper order block on 2 hour? If you can take a look at this candlestick is an engulfing candlestick towards the downside. What is it engulfing? It's engulfing the other previous candlestick. So this makes what? This makes it a supply zone. So from here to there, we're saying, okay, this is where from here to up there, and we know that also that up here it's a protected high already, because we broke structures when we was coming towards the downside. We know that up here it's a really protected high. Hey, warasa wena man. Hey, you get it? So when so, apa set apa jet apa shi Sheila. So now we get to see that, okay, so remember how do we actually identify an order block? This is how we identify an order block. This candlestick is the one that becomes an order block. What's happening is this the right hand side not the same as the left hand side? The same. So yeah, that's how we identify an order block. So therefore we knew that over here we have what? We have an order block. Okay, cool. So you're expecting the market to now from there come back towards what? Towards the upside, right? Towards the upside, towards our order block. So what do we get to see? We get to see that, okay, from there, after this engulfing candlestick right over here, we have the following candlestick coming through, right? We have this candlestick coming through, which is a pin bar. So we have this pin bar. As we have this pin bar, this pin bar is having a tail, right? This pin bar is having a tail, and what did I say about the tail? A tail is the same as an order block, as important area, or as the same as a point of interest to me. So I want to see something happening in the tail. So I want to see what? I want to see some sort of like previous candlestick sweep. I want to see some sort of like previous low sweep. I want to see some sort of like engulfing candlestick. I also want to see some sort of like a pin bar. So like, okay, those are the type of things that I want to see when the market comes inside this this tail over here. As you can see on 2 hour, that now when the market comes inside the tail, this was the first candlestick, this was, and then this was became the second candlestick. If you can take a look at what happened over there, this second candlestick gave us some sort of doji. So this was the doji. So we will go to lower time frame and start looking at the lower time frame and confirm if this doji will have. This is a good sign, but we need to also confirm from lower time frame, right? To say, is this doji's low, the low of the doji, a protected low or not? So how do we do that? We actually go to our lowest time frame. At this point, our lowest time frame is 30 minutes. So we need to go confirm on 30 minutes that is our doji that we had on the 2 hour gonna be the one that's helping us like go towards the upside. So this is the doji that we had. Okay, so within the doji, if you can take a look at like this candlestick, like, so this is the doji that we have. This is the sweep of a previous low and the doji we had, right? Within this doji, I think the best thing that we could have done, we could have waited for the market to actually take out this high. If the market takes out this high, it makes this doji very strong doji, a very strong signal to say, okay, we are going back up. But if you can take a look at where the market just reversed, there is also something called an order block, where here there's also something called an order block, because this is that candlestick. This is the candlestick that has been engulfed by this long candlestick towards the downside. So as you can see, when market got there, it actually came against our doji also, right? It also came against our doji. So another thing that we could have done, like we could have said, okay, if you can take a look at also this doji, it's also an order block, because after this doji there was a long candlestick. So this is a fight between these two. So if it's a fight between these two, we need confirmations that which one will be fake. I think when the confirmations could have been in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, whereby we see what we see. Maybe as we see market coming into here, no, sorry, as we see market coming into this supply, that's where maybe we will get to see some things like this, like maybe change of character, tap into the order block, come into this order block, then continue coming towards the downside. That's what we could have seen in the lower time frame, and yeah, something like that. And then now, oh, we will see maybe something like like pin bars rejecting this supply over no, this demand supply over here, showing that this demand is strong. So be careful of like market trading towards your stop profit, your stake, your stop loss. So that's what we also needed to like confirm. So we saw that, okay, we had the doji on 2 hour, but immediately we just saw that on lower time frame we do have like a what, we do have something like no, we do have a supply. So that supply is the one that actually says no to the market, we're not yet going up. So the best thing we could have done right over here is to was to wait for was to wait for this to be taken out. At least if if this high right over here was taken out, and then that's when we will say, all right, that's very beautiful. We know that if this high is taken out, the market, yes, can go towards the upside, but we also see that the market needs to come back because of this supply right over here. Let's so someone, and also this high, it's like significant. So someone could have came to us and said like, what if now after this after this sweep, and see market coming back, like coming with with the huge energy, like what if like after the break of structure of this high, the market continues to the upside without giving us any signal. So that will be like, if you can take a look, there's lot of like demands over here, supplies over here. So we knew that when market breaks this high, so there's a possible that market can reverse towards our order block so that we can go back up. uh, then if that does not happen, so we also know that there is a possibility that the market can come into this order block, then come into our supply, demand actually, and then move towards the upside, right? There was we was looking at such things, right? So but then within this order block, or make market failed to break above this high and respected this order block, and disrespected our what our demand, respected the supply, disrespected the demand. So market went against our demand low and take it out. But how does it take it out? This is a second sweep happening. Most of the time when the market sweeps for the second time, we don't want to be looking at, we don't want to be looking back, we're just going in forward, we're just going in for a sell. Why no, we're just going in for a buy at this moment of area. Why do we go in for a buy? Because let me show you. Remember, this was the supply that said, okay, the next low should be taken out. But what is the next low? The next low was taken out, but with a sweep, not with a body. So this was not a break of structure, it was a failure of a break of structure. So this is a sweep. So if this is a sweep, what does this say, this sweep says about the supply? So this sweep says that the supply is a fake supply, so therefore, or it's going to be a fake supply, so therefore we buy against the supply. We now know that we're gonna, first target is gonna be here, second target is gonna be here, or we just go towards the upside, right? So after immediately we see this candlestick, we know that okay, from here we're gonna just put stop loss below there. As we put stop loss below there, we're just gonna go in with a buy, So immediately just buy. We just buy this candlestick. After buying this candlestick, then we let the market. We buy. We then let the market then fly towards the upside. Bruh, do you know that praising God in hunger is difficult than praising God given everything is difficult, yeah, because like when you are hungry your kids are crying, your kids don't have the same faith with you, your kids will be crying, and your wife don't have the same faith with you. You might be telling yourself, Uguti, I don't need money, so I just need to pray to God, then I think I will be okay. And then your wife will come to you and say, you know what, it's over. I'm tired of living such life. What happens to you? You start like crying. My wife left me because I don't have money. You start complaining that your wife now left you because you no longer have your money. Yeah, well, so your wife will never leave you when there is no money, and your wife is easy to adapt what you're doing when you have money. Your wife is easy to adapt your relationship with God. It's easy to respect your relationship with God and also adapt what you do with God. Also, she will also therefore that do it. So come on, let's get money, bro. Money is the road. Money is the way to go to. Money, it's where there's happiness. Where there's money, there's no happiness. There's gangster. There's bad things happening, bro. So we need to get the money regardless. So now, what do we see? We see. So we get to see that the market keeps on going to the upside. Like, so this creates what? This creates a lot of liquidity within these lows. And already, because we had some changes of character and breakers of structure, we now already know that we don't want to hesitate taking this buy. I just want us to do what? To buy stop loss below there. It's okay, let's just buy. And then take a look at where we need to take profit. Look at where we take profit. So you see that this is 1 is to 3. This is exactly 1 is to 3. So you hold. Let the market then let the market hold. This is exactly 1 is to 3. So now let's explain how this wait, nakhona bala man. Baby kanto wa robetse sebaka so. Le no sa ba tlo. Oh mar. Eh, utlo la wena mafelong. We have a break of structure right over here. So since when we have a break of structure right over here, if you can take a look, we had some certain order blocks along like market moving towards the upside. The first order block we have is this order block right over here. So this is an order block. Good. Another order block we had, this was another order block that we had. So within or in the middle of this order block, we want to see market respecting and pushing towards the upside. As you can see, over here we're having another order block, which is this one. So market will always. Yeah, man. Okay. And someone will be asking you, what about all these order blocks that are here? What about this order block? What about this order block? What about all these order blocks that are like left out? Okay, it's fine. These order blocks will hold, will happen. Will market will respect these order blocks, but all these order blocks, if you can take a look at them, we have very much liquidity below them. So they will hold, but they will never break above. They will never go back to our entry level. You get it? The market will never go back to our entry level. They will be just short. If you can check, we have what we have: a impulsive correction, impulsive. So what we're having right now will be corrections to the upside. We're expecting corrections, but to the downside we're expecting what? We're expecting impulsive movements, because where is our target? Because our target is this low, actually, right over here. Okay, so we also see that the market break this structure. Market breaks this structure. So this breaker structure, where does it come from? So this breaker structure, I would say, okay, sharp, this breaker structure is not yet, it's not valid, but the right valid breaker structure is right here. This is a valid breaker structure. As we see market breaking this structure, which one is the high that is responsible for that? This is the high responsible. So if you can take a look at the market came and left this low. As left this low, it went back up and then broke that low, with a what? With a body, not with a tail. So taking a look at this, before the market breaking this low, where did we actually have a proper order block? There is only one place where we hit the order block, like a proper order block, which is this candlestick. So that's where we want to see market taking sells, right? That's where we want to see market like selling. So with this one, we're still holding, because we know that all these order blocks that are here, they're not gonna actually, uh, they're not actually gonna like let the market go way up, right? They're not gonna let the market go very up. I don't know if you understand, but it's okay. So okay, so now let's go to 2 hour and see what does 2 hour actually look like. Let's see what actually 2 hour looks like. Alright, on 2 hour, as you can see, that market decided to only like choose this unmedicated area right over here. And yeah, okay, alright, alright, and also tapped into this unmedicated area right over here. So another thing, if we can take a look at this candlestick is a pin bar. We see that market tapped in here, then there was a bit of a movement towards the upside. So now another order block that we're gonna look at, it's actually the high of this candlestick, because it has the unmedicated chain. All right, another order block that we could have maybe came in and looked at was this order block. Yeah, one. So but then unfortunately market respected this order block before we get there, which is fortunate actually. And then now we're about to like talk about like how did the market actually go back to our correct back to our order block, right? Very good. Right, if you can take a look at that, this is where we actually had this whole order block. So we could say we have this order block right over here, and since we have that order block, we have two order blocks. We have the whole order block, and then we have where the market has a tail, right? But then at the end of the day, our stop loss needs to be at above that area, so like let's take a look at how did the market actually get back towards that our order block. So taking a look at what's happening right over here, we see this candlestick coming on 10 o'clock. So we'll be like, okay, that's okay. And then we see the next following candlestick coming as a bearish. Then the third candlestick that forms at 1, that was the candlestick that was actually like, yeah, that made everything, or that spoke everything. When we see like the previous candlestick sweep, this is the previous candlestick sweep is the same as a previous low sweep. So a previous low sweep, we already know that we actually gonna change direction when we Hey, I really don't enjoy this session, yo. Alright, so let's continue. So as you can see, we had as I was explaining, a sweep of a previous candlestick is the same as a sweep of a previous low. Because if you could go, if this happens maybe like here on 1 hour, if you would go to 5 minutes, you'll also see that on 5 minutes we actually don't have we don't have a sweep of a candlestick, but we have a sweep of a certain low. So because how many 5 minutes do we have in 1 hour? It's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 55, 60, meaning we have more than like 10 candlesticks forming. So that will give you a certain low and a certain high. So definitely when we get to see that sweep, we already know that okay, this means something else. And then a sweep of a previous candlestick's low, and then also what type of candlestick is that, what type of the candlestick that has swept the previous low. The candlestick that has actually swept the previous low is a pin bar. A pin bar shows that the next movement is gonna go towards the upside. The pin bar is where we see that okay, we rejected sellers, but we are now allowing buyers to come in, which also help us to say even if the market can come towards the downside, this is the area where we know that it's important area. Like maybe after this candlestick we then see market coming back, where we then see market coming back to the tail over here. Mara boka wa rasa wazi. So immediately after this candlestick, that's why we wanna like take buys, right? So as I was explaining this, like to say maybe after this candlestick, we then see market coming back into our order block. We will also know that we will hold this order block needs to hold back towards where, towards the upside, because this is a strong a strong area, because it has a what, unmedicated tail, a tail that is free. So therefore we know that immediately after this one we can actually take a sell, a what, take a buy towards where, can take a short buy towards the order block or towards our unmedicated area. Now when we come back to one to 30 minutes, masih udah kan, kini panci kenapa kan, ini kama ya mabeji. Ah, why would you mail such things in PSR? Cause get you ritualist. It's bullshit. Kama ya hona. Hi. So let's take a look at what's happening right over here. On 30 minutes, we see that okay, we see that like at 1 o'clock we're actually having the the sweep of that previous candle's low, and the following we actually needed to actually like buy it from here, as you can see, because we also have it on what, we also having it on 30 minutes. And I want to explain, there's something I also see, right over here. Take a look at this. This is an order block, this is a supply zone. So our supply zone, this shows that our supply zone at this point is not powerful, because we see market come as that you see a market sweeping the low. As the market sweeps the low, and we also see that we have a pin bar against our order block. So the pin bar against our order block therefore means that the order block is weak, then we're going against it. Okay, we can go for initial moves right over here on 30 minutes, but when we saw that happening on 1 hour, maybe that's why we could have went with like a lot of like risk. So therefore that's how we got into our area. uh, yeah. So now I want to explain what's happening here. And explaining what's happening here, it's like game changer, because there's something actually happening over here which people might not even like see, and might actually get trapped before the market could go to the downside. But the most important thing about trading is where your stop loss needs to be. As long as your stop loss is safe, then you can know you know you continue with the market. So what's happening right over here, if you can check, the market has left a low right over here and has left a high right over there. And if you can check on 30 minutes, this structure says that we tapped into to the order block, and after tapping into the order block we have a change of character. After having a change of character, it also says that we have what, we have the order block. Hey, well, come on home. We have the supply zone. So as you can see, that market keeps on like rejecting our, keeps on doing what, rejecting, giving us pin bars to say this, the buyers are rejected, then the sellers must come in. So some people would have like, what could have would have they done over here? Maybe maybe after this one coming in, there was like gonna be like, okay, from here I sell and put stop loss right above there. But truly speaking, if you could look at market structure, the for this break to happen, which high was responsible, this is the high responsible for this break to come in, actually for the market structure to actually form. So there was this high and low, high and low, you get it, breaking of the previous low. So that's the most important and protected low, I mean most and important protected high. So if you would like put your stop loss above this high, you would know that this is the safest area. So but then if you would like be trying to be professional and put stop loss below here, or risk your amount to such a point that if market can come above somewhere at these areas, you will be taken out, then you are in danger. Because if you can take a look at here, yes, this is what the market is saying, yes, this is what we always want to see the market doing, this is what we always want to see the market doing. But looking at what's happening right over here, we see that okay, we have a break of structure, which is maybe change of character, and then like we have the order block responsible for that, and then right on our order block we have previous candlestick sweeps, and we have the pin bars showing us that the next move is towards the downside. But then what happens right there, if we would go to 1 hour, I think we might have something different. Let's get to see what the 1 hour says. Now this is beautiful what we see over here. If you can see where we actually having a change of character on 1 hour, it's not actually a change of character. On 1 hour, what we have is not a change of character. On 1 hour, what we have is it's a sweep of a certain low. So where we had a change of character on 30 minutes, on 1 hour it's a sweep of a certain low. So be careful of such things whereby we're having like this type of information, whereby on lower time frame we actually having like break of structures, but then on higher time frame we have signs that the market is actually gonna target the highs, or of like of the order block that we spoke about. So as you can see that, like, according to what's happening right over here, as you can see, the low that we said, it's a change of character. It's not actually a change of character, it's a sweep. As you can see, this candlestick came in, and then it's a pin bar show. Also, what I like about also what's happening over here is that, taking a look at this candlestick, can this only engulfing candlestick, if you can take a look at it, this is where we're actually having like the sweep of the previous low. If you could look at the sweep of the previous low, the sweep of the previous candlestick, this sweep of the previous candlestick has been, the break of the previous candlestick has been swept, not with a body but with a tail. So what could this possibly mean? This could possibly mean that the high of that candlestick is at risk. So imagine putting your stop loss above here, above the high of this area right here. Like we said, on 30 minutes it's at risk. The 1 hour says that those ones who are trading using only 30 minutes, 15 minutes lower time frame, according to what 1 hour and 2 hour will be saying at this time, they are actually at risk. So that's why you will be like, fuck, when you trade that sell, then market takes you out. You'll be wondering why, because on lower time frame we are having a good structure. What's happening? Why are we having that kind of like situation? Okay, let me do like this. You will be like wondering, like, okay, you see that you have this low, and then you have this high, and then you see market breaks this low on 30 minutes, and then uh, unfortunately you then see market going against yourself. Because if you could take a look at what happens over here, we have this low, right? We have this low, and then we have this high. Nah? Then taking a look at what's happening, according to what's happening from this high to form this new low, we're saying this is a downtrend. These are downtrend characteristics, or these are symbols of like downtrend, because we have what, we have a breakout structure. We have a breakout structure towards the downside. So as we have a breakout structure towards the downside, this is the 30 minutes, right? So we would now know that our supply at this point of time it's strong, and this high at this point of time is the strongest high. So we want to see market taking out this low over here, and leaving this high above here. But our 2 hour or 1 hour does not say that. What does it say? Our 1 hour says that, okay, we have a high, and then a low, and then a high, and then market breaks that low, and then leaves a, okay, breaks that previous low. Okay, so we have a what? Okay, sorry, but this break, according to 1 hour, we don't have this kind of break. According to 1 hour, we actually having a sweep. We're actually having a sweep. So from the open of the break, the candlestick that broke, towards the close, the low and the close, so we get to see that actually it was not a breakout structure on higher time frame. It was actually a sweep of a previous low. So, and then we get to see, okay, and then we know that, okay, on our 30 minute, we have what, we have an order block right over here. Then you'll get to see what, then you'll get to see market coming back to our order block. As market coming back to our order block, to those ones who are looking at the market on 30 minutes, they are actually taking a look, they are actually selling this moment. They are actually selling this area right over here, taking profit right over here actually, and putting stop loss maybe right above this area, which is this area right here. And again, some they would like put stop loss above here, some they would put stop loss above there to be safe. But then, because of what we saw on high time frame, our main order block becomes this one. This becomes our important order block, because it has swept this previous low. That means that high right there, it's at risk. So we see market going back to this order block, people taking sells, then yes, market respecting that, then we see what, market respecting that, then we see market coming back towards this this demand right over here. People are still holding, then we get to see market taking them out. So that's what happened actually right on that situation. So we need like different types of like time frames to take a look at, like to see what is actually market saying. Katoza ke ma she tsebela le coach tsa Sundowns wena. Mm. O fa bogela mo TikTok o bogela le ma monna ga go bogela bolo. So basically, all that happened over here, it's actually the same as what I was explaining. And then now this is where you get to say, okay, now those ones who took actually a sell at stop loss at profit, like stop loss above there, they are out. They got taken out. So the best ones are those ones who will take a sell right over this area, right over here, and then put stop loss above here. Then at this area we then know that okay, the market is going against. All right. So what I want us to also talk about is like I was looking at this whole area from this low, from here to from this portion, taking a look at this portion to what this portion. There is definitely an order block on lower time frame, right over. Let's say right over here. As you can see, when market before it came, that it took that out. It respected for the fact that we still have a long tail we have a long tail without medication, without like being filled. So market filled and respected also that order block. But then for the fact that we're going towards the downside, market took that out. So if we will come back on 30 minutes, I don't know if 30 minutes will give us like or will show us that type of like movement. Truly speaking, I hate the way I feel today because I feel so low, so little. Like I was saying, if you can take a look at 30 minutes, 30 minutes shows us that we have unmedicated order block right over here. And before we actually have a 10, we see that we actually had a doji sweeping the previous candlestick, that, and then right there we had a 10. And then unfortunately, the market came towards the downside and took out the Asian low right over there. Another thing that we see is that we have like a BOS right over here, a break of structure right over here, and then we also have another order block right over here. Right, we also have another order block right over here. So now which one is the external and the internal? So right, this one is the external high at this moment of time, and then also this is the external low. So this means that we are actually now trading within like between this high and low, taking it from this like break of structure right over here, taking it from this break of previous low right over here. We have this one as external high and this one as external low. So now we also need to confirm something. I also want us to confirm something over here, which is actually this low right over here. Do we have this low as a what, as a sweep or what? If we would go to 1 hour, I want us to check if is that a sweep or that is a BOS with a body. Hmm. Athiwa serious. like I told you, okay, we don't have a sweep, we actually indeed have a break of structure right at this area. So this is what a BOS, so indeed this becomes a BOS, right? So this is a break of structure towards the downside, and then now we already know that okay, this high is an important area. So take a look at how many times did the market actually play on our order block. Like if you can zoom in, I'll show you. Let's zoom in and let's discuss our order block. Now we need to delete this one. We already spoke about it and we know about it. So you see we have break of lows towards the downside, and then like onto our, this is the, okay, let's delete this one. Let's delete this one. This is the order block that we actually have right over here. Now take a look at how many times did the market actually play along that order block. So this was a very strong high. Market kept on like respecting this high. I don't know how many times, but it kept on respecting it like for some time at this point of time. So now nka step ke bokamoso ka step ka lokweng. So now let's go back on our two okay. Mm, you know, like for how many people could have been like say scared, felt scared, or be like, nah, this order block is not gonna work, because people trade with emotions. They don't trade with what the setup is saying. You know, the setup and the rule is saying no matter how it can play on the order block, you know that the protected high is that high over there, is the high of the order block. So that's the protected high, even though. So what does that mean? That means that we need to actually see the characteristics of a failing order block instead of just like, you know, like feeling scared. Warum? Kuji orang guys tista bigi boga baga tista polukuin. Unya kumule. Aw, jolo e buji. So okay, so this is beautiful. So taking a look at 1 hour, also 1 hour, like it shows that we also have like another order block which is like beautiful, which is here. So this is the order block that we have. All right, this is the order block that we have on the 1 hour. So now I want to explain why this has not become a fake order block. Like why that order block did not become fake order block. Why people shouldn't have like felt like the high of the order block will be taken out. Okay, so now we're gonna explain that. Right, so now we need to firstly, as we see we have a break of structure, we need to look at the high of this high right over here. We need to look at what's happening on that high, right? Because since when we have a break of structure, that means we have actually some order blocks that can lead the market towards the downside, right? Let's go to 30 minutes and see that, right? Taking a look at what's happening right over here, as you can see we had a break of structure with, right over here. So let's delete this one and let's delete this one maybe. All right, so we have a break of structure right over here, BOS. So what does this mean? This means that we know that we have an order block right over here. So yes, beautiful, that's our order block. As you can see, if you would go to lower time frame, if you can check out something there, we're also having our order block as a supply. And which one is that one? This is the order block that we have from this to here. This candlestick that like sold, then and followed by an engulfing candlestick. It was the actually it was the order block actually at this point of time. So like between the supply and the demand, which one hold it? Taking a look at this situation, we see that okay, this became a doji. So we did not know that if is the market gonna sell or is the market gonna buy. So it was not safe for you to actually fight here, because in between this high, in between this supply and demand, there was only doji in between them, not even a pin bar and not even a sweep of a previous low, or a sweep of a previous high to tell you that we're going to the downside, or sweep of a previous low to tell you that the supply has been a fake, then we go into the upside. So like this a doji, so you could be like, no, let's wait and see what's happening. So from there we also have then we also see that okay, the market sweeps the high of the order block, right? The market sweeps the high of the order block. So this was now where people could have like went in with a sell, right? With a sell. Ungangibiza ungazi ukuthi ungibizelani uthini? Andar arafeta mo. Man demons. Oh, television. Okay, so as you can see now, I also want to talk about this area. So like okay, for those ones, guys, I don't feel like learning anymore. Yo, let's pause.